Also, there were some questions as to whether or not the procedures that were followed at the last meetings or things that got put into the budget. I just want to bring the attention to the other members here that we had this public hearing and we're having this discussion now to make corrections or modifications to the budget. That is within the charter. It's within our charter section 10.2, specifically section E and F, where it is our purview that the Board of Finance shall revise any estimates it deems desirable and prepare a recommended budget before the annual meeting and publish the proposed town budget in the newspaper. This is going to get published again. So we have every opportunity to make corrections tonight or make any kind of modifications. So that being said, we can start discussing anything that needs to be done and taken care of.
If I may, the minute I saw this legal notice, I did respond to the finance director. I pointed out that it did not reflect the minutes of the Board of Finance meeting as far as capital expenditures are concerned, and that we should be correcting it for the public record. And I was ignored repeatedly.
Kirk, we are addressing it tonight. You didn't need to be addressed. There's nothing nefarious going on. We are going to discuss that tonight.
The fact of the matter is that we spent taxpayer money to produce an advertisement that reflected a budget that was fictitious.
It's not fictitious.
It is. It was
Kirk, we're going to discuss it tonight. But actually, I don't have to recognize you because you're an alternate.
That's correct.
So we're going to discuss it. If you have anything to add, I may let you speak, but let us proceed with...
Well, you can muzzle me if you want to, but that was not the right way to do it.
Kirk, I'm not muzzling you, and I have never, ever muzzled you or stopped you from asking questions that were appropriate. So let us continue. Do you have any motions on the floor?
Could someone explain to me then how that happened?
We're going to discuss it.
Okay, just explain to me how it happened. I mean, that's all I want to know, is how did it turn out not to reflect the way the Board of Finance voted to put it into the budget?
In the spirit of corrections and in the spirit of democracy, as Ona was saying, looking at some actions we took that I think were not done in the best way, the correction I would like to make and make a motion to do is from the Clinton Town budget. I'd like to remove both the capital improvements offset by fund balance of $1,271 and actually $271,000, 200 from both that line as well as the appropriated surplus to be used for capital line.
In the Board of Education, from what was said tonight at the public hearing, where are you?
No, he's on the legal notice. What he's saying is that to remove the capital improvements offset by fund balance of the
1.2712.
And then the appropriate
surplus to be used for capital.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, discussion.
Still lost. Can you show me where you are?
Up on the top.
This is the
up here.
Right. He's making a motion that it should be removed from the budgets because these were representative of the projects that the Capital Expenditure Committee had recommended be paid from the surplus. And by it being incorporated actually into the budget, I think it created some kind of either confusion or it wasn't the true intent, I believe, of the board because it's an offset. It should not even affect the budget whatsoever.
And where would this be expressed if it's not expressed?
I have a second motion after this.
So if we have further discussion on this, we'll vote on this motion and then we can proceed further.
Well, I would like to ask if we're in discussion, where, if it's not expressed here, where will it be expressed?
Well, I want it would be. Okay, so my intent was that, in recognizing some history that I didn't realize, is that this would be best suited for a town meeting where everyone could come and talk about it.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
That's a democracy.
Listen,
that's exactly.
Per order. Go ahead.
Don't you ask a question?
So we're taking it out of how we're spending the surplus.
Yes.
On the budget notice.
Correct.
For your motion, and you want to have a public meeting on whether or not, or how
Town meeting.
this.
Town
meeting.
A town meeting, how this, whether or not this will even be done.
Correct.
I see, okay.
Well, and I think historically that has been the past practice of the town when they, to purchase, because it is an offset.
Offset, well, it's the spending of taxpayer dollars, so.
It is, and taxpayers will have their voice, no?
Not really.
Yeah, they have a voice on
They'll have a
this too.
voice. That's, we're giving them a direct voice instead of it being represented by a set of panel.
Well, no, but this is a direct voice, this is what they vote on when they go on the
we're
voting.
voting, these are
Well,
just,
these
are
you're right,
expenditures.
you're right,
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
I appreciate that.
This is not a budgetary item, really, it is, but it's not.
No.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
when this came up at the meeting, I said that my objection to paying for these this way was because you were going to do it at a town meeting. And I was told by the first selectman, no, this is how we intended to do it. And I said, that's fine, I think I like this much better in the budget where thousands of people vote on it instead of 40 people spending $1 million. This, yes, our charter permits it, but it is something and you're right, we've done it for years, but we defeat a budget and then come in halfway through the year and then put it in. 3,000 people voted it down and 40 people put it back in. And yes, you can do it that way. Yes, it's in the charter, but it's not, to me, the ideal way in a democracy to let 40 people override the will of 3,000 people.
Kirk, is your understanding that 40 people is the limit for the auditorium?
No, but that's how many people come.
I'm simply asking.
Typically and there are plenty of people here that go to them.
But don't you think
It's
that
20
it would be
people.
explained better at a town meeting? You want transparency.
Right.
So you have this,
Right.
and you have the moderator discuss it, and then they know if it's at the
And
bottom
then
of
we
the
have a
list,
vote
they-
either by hand or by secret ballot.
Yeah.
Correct.
I just don't think you get the participation.
If it's
I would agree if every voter would come in and go all the way to the
press,
press.
and at the right day of week, et cetera, yeah. I can
Right,
understand.
so let's move on.
Well, you don't
So,
get a discussion
okay,
and
all in
we're not
favor?
getting it
No,
at the town
we're
meeting.
still
All in
discussing.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I thought we were still discussing. What did you want to say?
No, I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off discussion.
No, that's fine.
So you were opposed?
I'm abstaining because I'm undecided.
Okay, so it passed 4-1 abstention. Okay, Jason, you had a second.
So, as
motion.
was sort of signaled, I'd like to make a motion that these go to a town meeting for the taxpayers to make a decision with guidance on what to do with the surplus.
Okay, well, I think you have to be more specific.
More specific?
Yeah.
Well, next town meeting.
What?
This could be done this year. You don't have to wait until July to do it.
I don't know, do I need to set a date?
No.
No.
I mean, I'm happy to do it, I just don't, okay. Then
But,
Jane says no. I know where my,
Jane doesn't let you.
I know who's the boss. So the 1.2712 surplus.
no,
No,
this is the surplus. Yeah, okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
surplus for townspeople at a town meeting to determine its use with the guidance that these capital projects improvements should be
Does it
reviewed.
have, it should have the specific breakdown, right?
If you look on the front page of Kirk's broke out,
Oh, Kirk, help me out. Okay,
he broke out the number.
I would be happy to read that off.
Yes.
Okay. I apologize. So this is again the learning process, everyone. So it is this, just so I can read it correctly?
To appropriate, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, there's breakout, they work on it.
at the second paragraph.
Well, the first part.
We do the library.
Okay.
Do whatever you want with five.
So I'm removing.
No,
What I can say is-
Okay. All right, let me just rephrase it. I apologize for the audience who's patiently waiting. The 556,200 that was made to the educational capital budget.
No, just list them, yeah.
Just list them?
Yeah.
Is this, okay, so it is the education budget,
Look at this.
right? Which includes a reeval, heavy duty dump truck, various public work capital projects. I believe that is it, or is there anything else
It didn't include pipes or.
Yeah, that was the 556,200.
Oh,
for the education?
That was for the place.
All
Pipes.
right,
yeah.
so do we have a
I
second
mean,
to Jason?
it's not a very clear motion, I'm happy to revise it if someone needs me.
No,
Mary-
once is
Mary can
enough.
figure it
Yeah, there,
Put money in the things we would
All in favor?
all right, discussion?
discussion.
I think you should designate the amount for each of them.
She will do that.
Yes.
Mary will
Will-
get
You will do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have it in your thing?
Okay. Any further discussion?
Okay, I'm happy to.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And it would be for the town meeting.
Oh, no?
I'm not abstaining, no, I said aye.
Oh, yeah, all right, all in favor, it was
I
five.
just made this.
Okay.